Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're at. Thanks again so much for the awesome support. Been getting some really cool feedback from our community and just in general, my YouTube viewers. So thank you again so much. You are what makes my life a better place, so I appreciate you. Future reference too, congrats to our community members for some awesome profits here from Solana, ETH, and Cardano. These are just some recent day trades here from my trading bot, but more importantly, we got good 25% from an ETH long and a near protocol long as well. Both of those were taken yesterday, and prior to that, yesterday, we actually were shorting throughout the weekend. So Bitcoin and AVAX shorts, good 20-30% on that one too. So cool stuff there. If you notice, there's no specific AVAX trades because I'm waiting for confirmation of this coin. So I'll explain what I'm looking for here and what that might, what you might want to look out for too. I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet, but I think there is some positive here. Okay, so let's discuss that. So first of all, we're going to start with liquidation and kind of look at the big picture after that. First things first, though. When we look at liquidation, we can recognize there's quite a lot to the upside and downside. This is pretty common when coins are kind of in a range, which we've seen. We've seen low 20s and upper 22 range, right? That's kind of just the channel that we're working ourselves into. This is exactly the reason why we see breakouts happen when prices start to compress and start to squeeze into a horizontal range. That's another reason why you might see rectangle or triangle patterns form as well within ranges, and then they eventually break out because the bulls or bears take control. All right, all that being said, we can see decent amount of concentration, about $20.22 to the downside, otherwise $22.50. So if we look here at the charts, we can see $22.50 is this guy right here. And then of course, what was the other one? Sorry, short-term memory loss there, folks. $20.20. We can see that, 2020. Big surprise, just below the more recent low, okay? So again, you can kind of expect the price action to be range-bound in this range until it proves otherwise. That's how liquidation kind of works. Again, liquidation is there specifically because of high leverage and short leveraged longs or shorts, and long-term, there's a lot of things, okay? The whole point of that is that those accumulate at key level resistances and or supports, okay? And that's what we're seeing here. So we're moderately range-bound, if you will. We want to go ahead and draw out some new fibs here too. Just kind of get perspectives on this more recent little push. Now that the price has effectively topped out and has been pulling back, we can see some pretty obvious lines here where we got somewhat of a descending type of trend here. A lot of times these trend lines will run concurrent with moving averages, so we're going to look at that on different time frames, the 4 hour specifically. But at this point here, we are working ourselves into somewhat of a channel. Okay. Having said that, though, let's look at the daily time frame. We'll work our way down and just kind of get perspective on the macro here. If I recall correctly, we've got this resistance range here. I think that's a macro point of control. Let me double check that. This is usually why I put those things on the chart. Let's just clarify here. If we zoom out here, obviously we want to look at the more recent time frame here and just kind of see the general consensus is that we have the most amount of volume. And we're kind of right in the middle of it right now. So 20 upwards of 2150 is that the most amount of volume that we're seeing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the moving averages and kind of verify that we're below all moving averages, desperately below all moving averages. Most coins are not even close. So this is pretty much par for the course. It doesn't mean the price can't continue higher. It just implies that we're still in a bearish type of divergence. We got to recognize that. MACD is starting to gain momentum. So it tells us the shift of momentum is occurring. So the likelihood of breaking the upside is getting stronger. We can also see we're under 50 on the RSI. Money flow is very low. You got to bear in mind MFI is based on a 14-day candle. So it's still including these guys here. So if the truth is that MFI is going to be thrown off a little bit. The key takeaway here is that it's increasing marginally, which shows that's pretty good considering how much volume was going out before. So there's money flowing into this coin. You can see that a little easier on the 4 hour time frame here where the MFI is increasing. Okay, so that's good. Obviously, it's going to happen when you have a candle like this, when the price action continues higher up based on the more recent pump from Bitcoin. So you got to recognize too, folks, Bitcoin is cranking right now. Okay. It may not seem like a lot, but a 3% move on Bitcoin is pretty substantial. It's moving a lot of coins faster than they should be, but it's a good thing, okay? And if we see here, we got our 0.5 fib level as a potential resistance. That's a local high. It's also concurrent with the point of control here for recent. So basically implying that our resistance level is 2150, okay? So we want to get above 2150 today to have any legs to stand on. And obviously we don't want Bitcoin just to dump because if that happens, then I think Solana, ICP, AVAX, all the coins that I generally cover on any normal day, they're all going to pull back. Okay, so we got to understand this all comes with a caveat. Having said that, though, we're over 50 on the RSI for the first time in some time, right? Even though we were above that back on Friday, the price action still wasn't looking very good at that time. So now, while we are still in a descending trend line, being above 50 is a good start, but it's not like a perfect situation, because even though we're swinging up on the MACD here as well, we still don't have a ton of volume, and we still haven't broken free from our local point of control. So I'm going to feel much better about this when the price action is like right here, okay? When it spends a little bit more time above that resistance, uses it as a support, and performs a nice little bullish back test of this descending trend line. Those are things I like to look for. All right, that's kind of the 4-hour time frame. What's the hourly tell us? Well, most hourly time frames are going to probably be the same here today. We're going to see these significant breaks through the cloud, which is a good start. I think we're still a little premature, but generally speaking, we should experience further continuation higher. At the very least, a bounce off the local 0.382 fib at about 2130, and then potentially going even higher from there. But the lagging span is just now free and clear of the price action. Is generally a favorable sign. Conversion line and baseline are intersecting, telling us we have a convergence of sorts, but it hasn't fully happened yet. So I think, again, we're a little premature, but with Bitcoin cranking like this, there's a solid chance we're going to see some altcoins follow suit, pending Bitcoin dominance slows down. This is too high for any altcoin to be able to continue to surge. Okay, we're seeing altcoins have that natural knee-jerk reaction today, but we're not seeing like a magnificent like takeoff, right? I mean, look at this. AVAX is pulling back right now as Bitcoin goes up. So just know this point of control, getting above it, is important. If Bitcoin can close 61,000 or higher, and we see 2150 or higher for AVAX today, then I think we're going to be in a pretty decent shape. But this is still premature in my personal opinion. While this is nice, this is just a consolation for the moment. We haven't fully broken to the upside. Okay? I hope I'm wrong and the price just keeps going up. But there's a good chance that we're going to need to see a little bit of consolidation and some rest and relaxation before we actually see the real stuff happen. And that should come in the next 24 hours. Keep in mind, tomorrow is CPI data. That's a pretty big deal. That'll create a lot of market volatility, so be cautious trading into that. I hope you all learned something here today. Thanks again so much for watching. Do yourself a favor. Join us over at Bitunix. They got some awesome rewards right now. For anyone who uses my link to register, you could have previously used my link to register at any time, and you'll still be eligible for this. Okay. Again, either way, no KYC or VPN. These guys are awesome. They've been great to our community. Thank you, Bitunix, and thank you too for being an amazing part of my life. I appreciate you all. Love you very much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.